Indian. That's why you find Indian paranoia against Taliban as well. And now, with the American presence in Afghanistan, Indians have come back, and insurgencies have come back into Pakistan. So this is very understandable that both these countries now, as the fourth generation warfare, as we say, which to avoid a nuclear showdown, the Yugoslavia doctrine, the option of supporting insurgencies and economic collapse and supporting the politically separatist groups, you bring about the collapse of a state. This is the doctrine that the Indians are deploying into Pakistan, and the base area, the staging post, is from Afghanistan. And understandably, Pakistan is very nervous. Pakistan was nervous. Now they are not nervous simply because now Pakistan has got an upper hand. It's the Americans who are nervous now because they want an exit strategy and depending on Pakistan. And Indians are now preparing for the end game. They have realized the Taliban are winning. They have realized that Americans are losing. They have realized that Indians will have no future in Afghanistan if Pakistan gains an upper hand. So Indians are desperately trying to hold some kind of ground through the help of the Americans and Iranians. And that is why you find Indians trying to be very pally, very friendly with the Iranians. But lately, it's the Iranians and Pakistanis who have come very close to each other, defying the Americans. The fact that Pakistan have assisted Iran to capture Jundullah chief and destroy that network of terrorism which was operating against Iranians, which was sponsored by the CIA, and the signing of the Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline. Both of these actions, which have brought Pakistan and Iran very close to the displeasure of the Americans, have also made Indians very nervous. Because if Pakistan and Iran can come together, there would not be any foreign occupation forces in Afghanistan, nor would Indians be able to yield any pressure or influence to affect or support insurgencies in Pakistan. As Jan Saab has very rightly said, if the Americans leave, Indians will have to leave too. And this is the battle right now that's going on. It's the battle for the control of the Asian heartland.
Well, this is a troika I want to just touch upon. I mean, if Iran, if Pakistan, Afghanistan all manage to get on the same page, and Turkey, they will provide a substantial Muslim bloc.
That will be a dream come true. I wrote a paper long time back, in 1988, on this. And there's a regional strategic consensus. If we have this consensus, I assure you, economically, militarily, strategically, socially, it is going to be an enormous gift of nature to us. And I think the situation is arriving.
I think, well, the Americans are quite aware of this growing nexus between Iran and Pakistan, but similarly, it seems in many ways as if the Americans want India and Pakistan to have some kind of like role in sharing in Afghanistan, so that they can actually fight a proxy perhaps against their larger enemies, or who they think perhaps are their
China.
Yeah, exactly.
China is, why don't you mention? No, they have right now, but they can't, because they are now Chinese are the bankers and the Americans are the borrowers. So in this kind of a relationship, I'm sure that Americans cannot take on China.
Mr. Hamid, coming back to Iran again, India and Iran traditionally, when we look at Afghanistan, the tribes that they seem to have allied to in the past, the Tajiks, the Uzbeks, the Hazaras, they are pretty much, it's a well-known fact that both India and Iran have been supporting both these tribes. But Pakistan's strategy in the past has been just to support the Pakhtun Taliban, but now we see a slightly change in strategy. They now seem to be also willing to support Karzai, as well as the Taliban. Is this just to undermine the Indians entirely?
You see, Pakistan have always been influential in Afghanistan, even in Tajiks and Uzbeks and Hazaras also, during the Soviet war era. It's not that Pakistan never had an influence on them. We had great influence on those as well. But it was the policies of the 90s, when the Americans had left and the confused governments in Islamabad completely lost the opportunity, that we lost our 6 parties which we had created, and lost the Tajiks, Uzbeks and Hazaras as well. But the opportunity came back to Pakistan in late 90s when the Taliban came back into power. But then the Taliban were at war with the Tajiks and the Persian speakings and the Uzbek speakings, and that's why the Irani factor came in. Those were the period when Pakistan and Iran were at worst relationship with each other because of Afghanistan. But the American presence in Afghanistan changed the dynamics once again, particularly now, when the Americans are hostile, very hostile towards Iranians, and Pakistanis have stretched a hand of friendship towards Iran at this stage, which is very welcoming for Iran. Iran has responded very positively. And both countries now realize that together they can create a new destiny in Afghanistan also. And in the coming days, I very strongly foresee that Pakistan and the ghost of the relationship of Pakistan and Iran will be buried, and a new chapter is going to unfold. Indians have been trying to lure Iran towards themselves against Pakistan, but it's not happening for them. Indians had built a road in Afghanistan so that the Iranian port of Chabahar could be used for the Afghan transit trade, and Pakistan could be Afghanistan could become independent of Pakistan for the transit trade. But that's not happening also. Iran has not allowed the Afghan transit trade to go through Chahbar as yet. That means Afghanistan is still dependent upon Pakistan. And Pakistan has the leverage, which the Indians wanted to bypass. It's not happening. So which is a very positive sign. In the coming days, Pakistan and Iran are going to actively cooperate together. The Lebanon type option, where the southern part could go to Hezbollah and the Beirut should be with some other government, these options are being floated by the American, Jewish, Indian, Zionist axis. But neither the Afghans, neither the Iranians, neither the Pakistanis would accept this. This would only remain a pipe dream for them. As far as Pakistan and Iran is concerned, a united, strong Afghanistan where all ethnic groups come together to form a national government suits us all. And this is going to be the future, inshallah.
Final word from you, Mr. Gul. You have witnessed the withdrawal of the Soviets from Afghanistan in the way that they were defeated by the Afghan Mujahideen. We're seeing somewhat similar circumstances unraveling again, with the Americans finally realizing that they can't occupy this particular stretch of land which has seen off many conquerors. Finally, how do you see the India-Pakistan-Afghanistan relationship developing in the coming months?
I think India has no role so far, because every time when they got the opportunity, they acted against the will of the Afghan nation, while Pakistan acted first time against with the will of the nation and against the occupation forces. So Pakistan at least has a tremendous goodwill there, which India can never win. And India's only relationship, historically speaking, has been the Afghan invaders always going to Panipat and capturing Delhi. So India has absolutely no room there, save through Pakistan. So they've got to make amends with Pakistan if they really want to exploit the opportunities in the future. And as I said that, very rightly, Iran is very important in this case, and Iran and Pakistan need to develop very close understanding on this whole issue. And inshallah, we have much to share, and we need not compete in Afghanistan. In fact, we must leave Afghanistan to its own tools, and I'm sure they have the ability, they have the sagacity and the capacity, and it has been proven historically that they can settle their matters internally.
Final two sentences from you, Mr. Hamid. Can India and Pakistan ever bury the hatchet?
I don't see it, not in the near future. In fact, as the situation is building up, it may sound harsh, but as India continue to drive Pakistan, make Pakistan a drought-ridden state, destroy our agriculture, block our waters, it's all heading for a big war.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on In Focus. Of course, we all hope that India and Pakistan continue to talk, because no talks would mean that the Mumbai attackers had actually won and that the people of South Asia had lost. You can send your suggestions and comments through to our email address. That's infocus@presstv.com. That's infocus@presstv.com. I'm Adil Sabir. Till we meet again. Goodbye.